Hello everyone, welcome to our unboxing and review of the Arkham Horror Return to the Circle Undone box set. So for those of you who don't know what these are essential end of game campaign sets that are released sometime when the campaign finishes the cycle. They contain new player cards, variations of old sets, new encounter sets that replace certain things. They're not just like they come with little dividers to organise all your cards in a nice set. And it's really good because Arkham Horror, you have all Mythos packs lying around and they're just messy. And to have these, a nice little shoebox slim design to fit all your cards in nice and neat, they're really good, they're really nice to have. Do I think they're essential to have? No, you don't need to have these at all. You can perfectly enjoy any campaign without these sets. But if you really love a certain campaign, you want a bit of variety, some new cards, some new challenges, some fun variations in gameplay, then these are for you. These are really fun sets to have. Not only that, but they do come with new artwork, new designs, new keywords. So without further ado, let's open up the box and look at the cards inside.
Well, it will all become clear at the next card. This is really weird. There's only supposed to be one in each pack.
Okay, and here we have Arkham Horror the card game, Return to the Circle Undone. So, like the other Return to boxes, it's quite a slim, sleek box. Nice little label at the side there, so you can store your cards all neatly away. It reminds me of the like a shoebox design, or like the wand boxes from Harry Potter, you know, when they pull out Ollivanders to get the wand. It's a really great little idea. There's nice artwork at the front there, some pictures from cards. There's the Azathoth demonic piping card there, really great artwork. All the investigators on the other side there. And of course the front cover box for the deluxe expansion itself. So upon opening you'll see a few things inside. Let's crack this on. Okay, first things first, we have the reference card. Now with these Return to boxes you normally get a replacement expansion to play with each scenario. You can see here it says there's a replacement expansion for each set. So starting from the Twilight Estate, going through all the Mythos packs, Wages Sin, Secret Name, right up to Before the Black Throne. So when you set up a game of Arkham Horror with the Return to sets, you place the Return to card next to the scenario card, and this will change certain things. It might replace certain encounter sets, add new encounter sets, give you extra options. Maybe it might have different solutions, different resolutions for different campaigns. It tells you here also some sets replace other sets here. So for instance, some of these sets here get new sets, so you get new cards, new artwork, new monsters, new treacheries. Even core set cards like Chilling Cold and Ancient Evils are replaced with Chilling Mists and Impending Evils. This is about a tarot card deck here, which I'll go through in a second. And we also have different resolutions about the different scenarios. We'll explain that in a second. We'll just go through what's in the box first. So here we have the really cool tarot card deck. These are so cool. I mean, look at it. I love the design of these. The artwork is so cool. You know, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, Emperor, the Lovers, Strength, the Hermit, Wheel of Fortune. There's so many good cards, and not only are they really great artistically to look at, and the theme of them is really smart. You know, if you feel like a little gypsy dealing out to people, will take a card, pick one out. But they also have a function. They're also really good cards too. So these cards can be used as a supplement to any game of Arkham Horror, the card game. Different kinds of ways you can do this. You can do the Chaos reading with one card, the 2-card reading with balanced cards, the 3-card reading of choice, or the campaign reading of destiny. So what this means is the cards have two sides to them. They have the upright side and the reverse side. So before setup, you can shuffle these, pick one out, and the effects of this act throughout the scenario. They could be positive, they could be negative, who knows. So let's look at one here. The upright position card of the Fool card reads, at the bottom down here, upright position, each investigator not defeated during this game earns +2 experience during its resolution. So we had the reverse side, it would read, each investigator defeated during this game earns -2 experience in resolution. So some effects are positive, some effects are negative. That's the basic card reading chaos balance. There's a 2-card reading balance mode where you pick 2 cards and have one normal and one inverted or reversed. So for instance, this one here says I get +2 experience when I defeat the scenario, not dying. But also says each investigator begins the game with few 3 resources and cannot gain resources during their first turn. So it's quite a tricky, nasty little card to have. There's also the choice setup where you get 3 cards and then choose and reverse 2 of these cards and keep one face up for the rest of the game. And the last way of doing this is the Destiny campaign reading where you pick a bunch of cards, place them out, one for each scenario you're going through, And this way you can plan ahead for each scenario coming up. So not only they look great, but they function really well, and they add a new dynamic element to the game, which is really appreciated for Arkham Horror. So open the box up here, we see Fantasy Flight do quite a lot of their games. They have a little insert thing here, which you can just take out. It doesn't really do much. You know, you take it out, you can put these in there. These are the dividers. I'll just show you real quick. So what these do, these act as dividers for each of the sets. So this will be a divider for each encounter set, each scenario, all the extra sets, and any core sets that might come with this game. So right from the first one, Disappearance Twilight Estate, Witching Hour, Death's Doorstep, going right through Ancient Azathoth, Spectral Predators, all the new sets, right to the end of like Locked Doors, Night Gaunts, even the core set cards. You place them into your box, and you can divide your cards as you wish. Personally, I do like this, but I wish the cards were a bit thicker and were wedged in more, because they tend to fall down back and forth when you put them in the box. So personally for me, the next thing they could do is it's a little bit thicker so they stay upright in the box, but that's just a little nitpicky thing that I go for. So next up we have all of the encounter cards. So as you can see here, we have the Return To cards down here. Any blacked out symbol like this, negative colour symbol, as you can see there, is a Return To set. So you add these to the game. So for instance, this one here, Return To Union Delusion, you'll put us on the start of the game. When gathering the counter sets, also gather new sets from Return To Union Delusion shown here. So it'll tell me here to gather these sets and replace these sets with these other sets from this new set. Also, reverse the card over, types more things here, so different acts, different resolutions, different steps to go through. A lot of times, Fantasy Flight games will release things like this, and they can fix little bugs in the game. Small errors, make things a bit smoother. I know in Forgotten Age they improved the Explore mechanic, making it a lot easier to use. So they're the Return To sets all there. Some really cool things there. Night Guard Steed, that's a really cool card. So these are some new sets down here with some really great artwork. All these cosmic witches and spells and secret rituals. That's a good art, I really like that. Impending Evil, that's really smart. Some really great card here. So this is the obviously Fatal Fool cards, but the new version. So place these in. Some really cool artwork on these cards down here. I won't go through them too much because I don't want to spoil too much of the game. But it is a nice little thing. That Screeching Banshee, it's a nice new enemy down here, Spectral Enemy, and more treachery cards. So that's the encounter cards. I won't go through these too much, but they add a nice bit of spice and variety to the game. More encounter cards here, replacing the other sets. So if you see here, let's take this scenario here with the Witching Hour. This is the first proper scenario of the game, rather than the intro scenario. So place this next to the campaign card. And a new act card here that goes underneath, Act 4. These locations can sometimes replace other locations in the game, Arkham Woods locations. You get some ones from the core set there that can turn over. You can see by the inverted symbol there, they are from the new set. See new locations there, Bootleg Operation, Place of Power, Hidden Path. You haven't got to play these exactly as the card tells you. You can put different sets in, you can play some just as they are pre-built. You can add some Return To sets if you want to later on in the campaign. Up to you. It adds a nice bit of variety to the game. So put that down there. And lastly, we also get some nice new exclusive player cards for the Return To set. So we have here the Star, You Have Been Chosen. Asset, 3 upgrade, it costs 3 points to acquire, 3 XP. Each asset you control with half gets +1 sanity, and each asset you control with sanity gets +1 sanity. So that's a great card, whether Guardians and Allies kind of deck. Another thing about these tarot card assets is if the game begins, this is in your hand, put it into play. Next we have Hallowed Mirror. Asset for 2, cost 3 XP, 1 per deck. When you play a copy of Soothing Melody, either change each 2 on it to 3 or shuffle it into your deck as service card on it. After Hallowed Mirror enters play, search your bonding cards for 3 copies of Soothing Melody and add 1 to your hand, shuffle the other 2 into your deck. So a really great card, Soothing Melody, can add more to it if you wish to. More tarot cards here, which is really good. So this is the World, 21, the journey is complete. If you have 8 or more cards in your hand, exhaust the World, draw 1 card. In light of a tarot card, game begins, puts into play. The Occult Lexicon is a tomb asset for 2 with 3 upgrade costs. So limit 1 per deck. When you play a copy of Bloodright, either change each 2 on it to a 3 or shuffle it into your deck instead of discarding it. So a great card with the bonding cards Bloodright. Another tarot card here, Knight of Swords. So same again, cost 3, 3 to upgrade. So when you succeed at a skill test, you get +1 skill value for this test. You may discard Knight of Swords to get +3 instead. So it's really good if you are really struggling, you need to kill an enemy quickly, or one last test to win the game. We have 2 copies of Well Connected, an asset for 2, costs 3 to acquire. 1 per investigator. Exhaust while connected. You get +1 skill value for this skill test for every 4 resources you have. Then spend 2 resources of free action to ready while connected, once per round. That's a great card because the rogues have a lot of way of getting resources really quickly. The last game with Trish Scarborough in the Inside Conspiracy, I had about 12 resources by one point really early on, so that's a great card with the rogue assets. So down here we have the Hierophant. Your True Master awaits. Gives you 1 additional arcane slot. Your arcane slots can be used to hold cards that take up accessory slots, and vice versa. That's interesting because obviously with Mystics you have a lot of accessories and arcane slots for your spells and your banding magic. So this will have you have additional cards in that area. It's going to be great card for the Mystics. Sign Magic. This has 3 asset for 3, cost 3, has a fast keyword. You have 1 additional arcane slot which can only be used to hold a spell or ritual asset. After you activate a triggered action ability of a spell or ritual asset, exhaust Sign Magic. Activate a triggered ability on a different spell or ritual asset you control without paying its activate cost. Wow, that's good. That is a great card. So how I'm reading this right is you have 2 spells out. You activate a spell. This can be something like Investigate, gain extra clue, do all that. But once you've done that, you have to activate another spell on a different asset you control for free without paying its activate cost. So basically you can have an extra go of using a spell if you have 2 spells out, which works well with the other card we just seen. I like that card, that's going to be really good in some Mystic decks. Okay, so Survivor cards here. So 9 of Rods, every trial has a lesson. When you draw a non-weakness encounter card, exhaust 9 of Rods, cancel all that card's effects and shuffle it into the counter deck, then draw another card from top of the encounter deck. This is good. This is great with the Stellar Clark deck, any Survivor deck basically. You get to avoid pesky treachery. So a treachery where test asks you to test a certain skill value you haven't got much of, say your agility is quite low, and you get a treachery that's going to make you to test agility. You think, I'm going to fail this, I'm going to have to fail this test. Not this card, exhaust it, cancel it, shuffle into the counter deck and draw another card. I mean, bear in mind you might get the same card again or something equal or worse, but it's still a good idea to have a good option. And also we have Trial by Fire, an event for 2, costs 3 to acquire. Fast, play during only your turn. Until end of the turn, set the base value of each of your skills to 5, or the base value of 1 skill to 7. Wow, that's good. A skill value of 7 will succeed in pretty much any test you're going to have. Even setting them all to 5 is going to be so good, especially against certain scenarios in the Circle Undone that require a lot of tests. So some basic cards here. We have Moon Pendant for 2, costs 2 to acquire. 1 additional tarot slot. Each non-weakness tarot asset in your hand or put it to a skill test gains 2 question mark skill icons. That's good. So basically you use some tarot cards in your hand to get extra skill icons. Another tarot card here, the Fool. So like the others, costs 3 to acquire, 3 to upgrade. When you play a card, exhaust the Fool, reduce that card's cost by 1. So, and also the game begins, the Fool's in your hand, put into play. A really good card in any deck. Any kind of format would really appreciate this card. Reducing the cost of cards you play by 1 is super handy in any way you're going to play this game. We also have Observed. So, Blessed Permanent, 1 per Investigator. Before setting up each game, draw 3 random cards from the tarot deck and choose 1. Place the chosen card in front of you in the upright position. Each investigator ignores its effects, shuffle the rest back into the tarot deck. So if you play with tarot cards, it basically allows you to draw extra tarot cards and choose one that you like, have a certain effect that might help you out. That's cool. We have a basic weakness here, a new one. So these sets can come on new weaknesses too. So Damned, basic weakness, a curse, omens, a permanent. So before setting up each game, draw a random card from the tarot deck and place it in front of you in the reverse position. Each investigator ignores its effects. Like the reverse of that card there was a blessing, this is a curse, so you get the bad side of the tarot card. And we also have the Devil, the Shadow Hungers. This is a basic weakness, an omen, a tarot. You cannot play assets other than the Devil, but it's in your hand. If it's drawn in your opening hand during setup, before after taking a mulligan, you cannot replace it, it must stay in your opening hand. So that's it for the player cards right now. So we're going to go to a final thoughts on what I think of the cards so far in this, after some games, and explain to you how I feel about this new Return to Arkham Horror set. Okay, so final thoughts. Now, I'd be lying if I said Circle Undone was my favourite campaign. It is not my favourite campaign. It's actually probably my least favourite campaign. I don't know why. There's a few things about this I don't quite like originally. I don't like the opening scenario. I think it's a bit of a waste of time having this set of instructions for this very short game just to have some choices later on during the campaign. I think it's a bit of a waste of time. Story is good, but I don't think it's as good as it could be. I mean, I've found the Forgotten Age in Dunwich Legacy a lot better than this. It's still fun, it's not a bad campaign at all. I'll make it clear though that it's not my favourite campaign. In terms of difficulty, I think it's one of the hardest ones I've played. I mean, the Forgotten Age is tricky, I'll be honest, it is tricky, but this has some very hard scenarios, especially the last one. It's extremely tough. So what do I like about this new box? So first of all, the player cards are great, the tarot cards are amazing. I like the idea they can be in your opening hand and you get to play them for free straight into the game. That's always good. And these new player cards are really fantastic. They allow for some nice new deck building customization options that I'm going to really look forward to playing later on. Also, the biggest change in this set is the new tarot cards, which I really enjoy. Not only do they look great and they feel really nice to hold, and you just feel nice having these big tarot cards in your hand. They serve as a good function too. They can give you bonuses and negatives, they can help out the game or hinder your progress, and it adds more to that replayability. It's one of the things that Arkham Horror is great for, is replayability. Once you get a full cycle and a full set of cards, a full campaign, the replay value of this game goes through the roof, and you have so much to choose from. And the Return to sets just amplify that by adding more sets and more cards, which I really appreciate for this game. As for any noticeable changes in the campaign, I found a few things better. There's some new Silver Twilight enemies, which I appreciate. They're always fun to handle. Pesky Twilight enemies in the way, chasing you around. Some new spectral ghosts for that story of the ghosts and the heretics on the other side. That's always fun. I like that scenario. There's also a new ally you can acquire throughout the game, a witch. That's really good. I also like the Nightgaunt steed assets you can acquire. The idea of riding a Nightgaunt steed through the sky or through the cosmos. It's just such a cool idea. They really help that in the For the Black Throne scenario too, because you can use the Nightgaunt steeds to move to the empty spaces. Because I found that scenario extremely hard. And you can even spend, I think, 2 resources to acquire a Nightgaunt steed to help you fly through the cosmos. Because that last scenario of this game I found extremely challenging, and the steeds help out a little bit. A few little tweaks here and there, nothing major. Extra act cards. The new sets are fun, they aren't too hard, they aren't too challenging. I played through a few games. They just amplify what's already there. Enemies aren't exactly tougher, they're a bit trickier, they require different strategies, different takes on these. But all in all, it's a very good Return to set. As far as the new counter sets go, you get the same amount as you get the other Return to sets, but this one I feel that made the campaign a bit more enjoyable for me, personally. For a campaign that I didn't rate that high, now I want to play the Return to set more often. It made the Circle Undone for me more enjoyable, which is great because I didn't find that set that great to begin with, really. I mean, it's not a bad set, but this made it elevate above to where now I want to play this Return to box all the time now. So all in all, it is a really great addition to Fantasy Flight Games' long-spanning saga of Lovecraft-themed card games. And obviously next up we have the Edge of the Earth campaign box. I really like the idea they're going for here of ditching the Mythos packs and having just one campaign box, one player card box. Brilliant idea, that works so much better. So look forward to that soon. Probably get a return to Infinite box set soon, which I'll review as well. That's it for this video. If you want to see a playthrough of the entire Circle Undone set with Return to box, let me know down below in the comments. Let me know which investigator I want to choose. Let me know what tarot cards you want to see. Any suggestions or comments I'd appreciate, leave them down below. Like and subscribe if you can, and thank you for watching.